Herb. Herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Herb.
Welcome, you made it to Eugene Cannabis TV. I've got a little news item here, then we have some special guests I want to introduce to you. But this happened out of Portland. This is from Paul Stanford. Break-in at the THCF medicinal garden. There were 2 arrests. The investigation is underway. They had a break-in it was at 4:40 in the morning. The alarm system went off as 4 individuals broke in. And the alarm company called the police, and Paul, they said all their plants were in vegetative cycle and they were propagating cuttings to go outdoors in the spring. The thieves found there was no dried cannabis flowers, but did discover stacks of several tons of hemp paper and bags of stems. As the police arrived, the thieves were searching through the hemp paper. A police dog prevented them. 2 were arrested, 2 got away, and the hapless felons left a van and a truck behind. The police have been very polite, friendly, and professional with us. We are pulling videos from our camera systems as evidence for the authorities. The police were on the scene in 3 minutes. THCF workers arrived within 30 minutes to repair the breach and pull the videos off of our system. It is still less than 2 hours since the thieves broke in, and the forensic investigation continues. We are here to protect and serve our patients every day in every way. We shall overcome, restore hemp. So that was from Paul Stanford. He's the CEO of the THC Foundation, and is also THC Foundation is the sponsor of the Emerald Empire Hemp Fest, the longest-running sponsor, 5 years in a row, and he's already kicked in this year. So anyway, we have some special guests tonight. This is a real treat. We have the 2 members of the Bobby Sixcrows band. We got Bobby Sixcrow himself and Roger. See, I got Roger on the mind. Mark Kemp. So we appreciate both of you coming. And these guys not only are great musicians, but they're also believers of freedom and use of cannabis.
That's right. We are freedom fighters. I'm not that much of a musician. I'm more of a poet, and I didn't know it. Mark here, on the other hand, is a hell of a musician. He can sing like a bird. Well,
thank you, Bobby. You know, I hope that, thanks for having me, DanK. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. You know, I hope that that some of this medical research can be tied to, along with other organizations, to help tie some medical research and find out just how helpful cannabis and hemp products are, you know, used in different ways. And I hope that some of the funding for research can come from medical help. I've recently seen family members and close friends dying of cancer, and I know they said it helped them through their tough times, but I want to see some research, hopefully funded behind some of this too, and help go towards that. So that's my cause for being here.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Constantly, I'm constantly amazed too by people that they're using it medicinally, and the stories that we hear. People want to get away from the pharmaceuticals, the side effects of pharmaceuticals, especially. Yeah. And it is a naturopathic thing, been used for, I've forgotten the number, but thousands of years, so it's kind of hard to argue against it, and yet they do. And of course, Bobby, I've stolen your thing about being, if we're going to make a plant illegal, let's make something illegal that's nasty, and we can all agree with is nasty, like poison oak.
Right.
I've stolen that many times and used it. That's an excellent point.
Well, if we're going to start, we can't stop with poison oak, we might as well go on to, like, you know, tornadoes. You know, I mean, nobody likes them, and they kill people. You know, I think we ought to end the war on drugs right now, call peace on that, and declare war on diseases.
Yeah.
You know, if we just stop the war on drugs for 5 minutes alone, we could probably, you know, build a hospital or something and take care of some people that probably need to be taken care of instead of people being outlaws.
Definitely. And also, Bobby was played at our first Hemp Fest in 2003, our one-day event that actually he was in charge of our second stage. And at Alton Baker, we've never have been able to get back in that park since, but we keep trying. But and again, so Bobby's going to be at this year's event, and Friday night, Bobby will be in charge of the stage, and Bobby Sixcrows and the band will be playing what, first slot, or you know?
Oh, we don't know. We're going to play it by ear right now.
Well, it's going to be a heck of a show, I can tell you that, and we're going to hope to get our friend Roger coming with us, and
Roger Sticky Mouse McConnell.
That's right, and we're sure he'll be back. He's been to Hemp Fest before, big supporter and a hell of a guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the first time I saw him play, he was doing this great wow thing, you know, and when he got done, I asked him, I said, how are you doing that? Because he didn't have a wow bar, you know. I said, how are you doing that? He said, oh, I'm bending the neck. Holy cow. So,
I think that's the way they started doing that before they had those well.
I guess so. It makes sense, yeah. Yeah, I'd be darned. So the best ones are the burly guys, and they can really get the strength to do it. Huh? Yeah. Well, I know. Excuse me. Mark here did my version, one of my favorite songs, "The Mexican Blackbird." So I'm going to be. I'm always wanting to hear that.
You want to hear that one?
Oh
huh?
man,
that's a good song written by ZZ Top. You know, and I believe it was either that one or Francine that came out on a single. You know, and it had in English on one side and Spanish on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
It came out in two languages, you know.
Yeah, the only reason I became aware of the song is it was on an album that I think I picked up at a garage sale, 99 cents for a cassette, you know. I said, ZZ Top, 99 cents, yeah, I'll take that. And then it was on that album, like so many songs we find that are, you know.
On the flip side.
Yeah. So, but anyway, for some reason I just really get a kick out of it, so. So we're going to have 3 days, 15th, the 16th, and the 17th of July. That's the weekend after the country fair. We're getting ready to start volunteer meetings, and so go to the website, Emerald Empire Hemp Fest, emeraldempirehempfest.com is the website, and you can communicate through us to emeraldempirehempfest@hotmail.com. And our friend Eileen's coming back this year, one of the founders of the original 2003 event. She's coming back this year and working in a capacity of a coordinator. So we're looking forward to that, and I know that's going to benefit us all.
We got to hand it to Dan, the man here, for keeping it together all these years as a freedom fighter. And as freedom fighters, we have to unite and not have any kind of negative towards any other body and what they're doing when they're freedom fighting. You know. It's time for us all to get together and have one goal in common, and that is freedom.
It's true, and there is a lot of that in the movement, unfortunately. I always say that working in the movement is trying to herd wild cats. And somebody else said, yeah, like drunk cats maybe, but so it is pretty difficult, but we do need to work together because we do have one common enemy, and that's people that trying to take away our freedoms. And speaking of which, again, I want to point out to everybody that the Oregon legislature is in session, and the assault on the Oregon medical marijuana program has started again by the law enforcement lobby, and so we can expect another fight this year. They keep talking about all the abuse in the program, and in reality, we contend that there's less abuse in the medical marijuana program than there is among police personnel.
There you go.
You know, if you look at the statistics, I think that's what you'd find. So it's a fallacy. Of course, there's abuse in any program, in any group of people. There's always going to be a certain amount of it. But all in all, the law we have, I'm really surprised how well it works, especially when we don't have a distribution system. And everybody has to be like on their honor system and trade, but you can't take any cash for it, any money, and yet patients are getting their medicine in spite of that, in spite of the fact that it's worth $300-400 an ounce on the black market, but people are still giving it freely, and people are using it for medicine.
There's bad apples on all trees, Dan.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. So it's and I always like to say that all drugs have a side effect. Medical marijuana is no exception, but the main side effect on it is paranoia, is euphoria, and we can live with that, you know.
We can live with it.
Exactly. And as far as paranoia, I like to say that there's a fine line between caution and paranoia. So you just got to keep working on finding that fine line. But just don't be paranoid, but be cautious. Especially, as I always like to point out, never consent to a search, and use your oven bags when you're transporting medicine. I should have an example, and I don't have it with me. But remember, in where they sell baggies and such in the grocery store in a blue bag, and they're called oven bags. They're oven baking bags. So that's the way to transport it and keep the odor down. So what other gigs here? Anything of interest coming up in?
So when is our next gig at the party?
In what? Oh, a benefit? We haven't got one lined up yet. So we haven't got a date yet on that, but stay tuned on that one. But I was wondering about your gig.
We're just now putting the band back together right now, but
great. Yeah, well, they've got it's a great sound at their benefit. They're on the 19th of January. Was it the 19th? I lost track of 20. I can't remember. But anyway, Saturday was a great time. So in fact,
yeah, we had a great time out there.
It was fun.
Stay tuned, and we'll let you know when the next one is.
Definitely.
It's at a church on River Road.
Yeah, well, that's great. We're going to roll this thing up, and these guys are going to play some music for us, and we owe a debt of gratitude for these guys as being here, and they're definitely always welcome to come back.
Thanks a lot, Dan, for having us.
You bet.
Thanks for having
Appreciate it, and we'll see you next time, and we'll hear some good sounds.
Here's a song written by Leadbelly and Woody Guthrie, we don't know for sure. And then the Grateful Dead came on and played it. Now, we played it the other night with Jameson. He didn't show up, so we're gonna do it anyway. Said we're going down the road, we're feeling bad. Yeah, we're going down the road, we're feeling bad. Yeah, we're going down the road, we're feeling bad, bad, bad. Ain't gonna be treated this way. I said we're going where the ganja grows free. Yeah, we're going where the ganja grows free. Yeah, we're going where the ganja grows free, free, free. Ain't gonna be treated this way. Tastes like wine. Yeah, we're going where the water tastes like wine. Going where the water tastes like wine, wine, wine. Ain't gonna be treated this way. Takes a $20 shoe to fit my feet. Takes a $20 shoe to fit my feet. Takes a $20 shoe to fit my feet. Lord, Lord, ain't gonna be treated this way. One more time, Mark Kemp. Good this time, but we'll do better next time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from up the river, Mark Kemp.
Well, thank you, Bobby. We're gonna do a little Jimi Hendrix song. There's a red house over yonder where my baby stays. Little red house over yonder
where my baby stays. I ain't been able to see her in 99 one days. Wait a minute, there's something wrong here. My key won't unlock the door. Wait a minute, there's something wrong here. My key won't unlock the door. I got a bad feeling my baby don't leave me alone. I go over yonder, I'm going way up across the hill. I'm going way over yonder, way all upon the hill. 'Cause if my babies don't love me, I know her sister will. Well, my baby left me for another man. My woman when it left me for another man. But that don't concern me. Gonna live my life the best I can.
The baby won't love you. The little sister will, is that?
That's it. That's what Jimi Hendrix was saying back in the day.
I'd like to do original now.
Why, Harley Joe? Why he the one who had to go? I said, why, Harley Joe? Why he the one who had to go? I ain't gonna bitch and I ain't gonna cry, but evil lives and the righteous die. There ain't no homeless on the streets of gold, a mansion's waiting for Harley Joe. I said, why, Harley Joe? Why he the one who have to go? Bubble, she told me the bad news. I got them that ain't right, Lord Blues. But we don't decide who lives, who dies. Sixcrows, his spirit flies. I said, why, Harley Joe? Why he the one who have to go? Now Joe, he's a friend of mine. I'll reflect his light till the end of my time. Don't you know he's a bro, the crow? We all love Mr. Harley Joe. I said, why, Harley Joe? Why he the one who have to go? And the dead in our freedom, the Marine Corps clan, a righteous country, walk a righteous man. He picked up his bags and he moved his feet. Now there's sweeping Joe off the street. I said, why, Harley Joe? Why he the one, why he have to go? Why, Harley Joe? Why he the one, why he have to go?
All right, thanks a lot for having us on your show today, man. Thanks for all you guys.
Appreciate the time.
And now, a message from the American Marijuana Growers Association.
Hi, I'm a farmer, and I work hard every day to grow high-quality marijuana. the biggest cash crop in these United States. I'd like to thank you for your support of U.S. marijuana policy. Because marijuana is illegal, I don't have to pay taxes. Even better, prohibition leads to artificially inflated prices, which means a better quality of life for me and my family, as long as I don't get caught. Just as importantly, your tax dollars support thousands of U.S. agents who work tirelessly to keep low-grade, foreign marijuana out of our country. So thank you, America. And remember, whether you're nauseated from chemotherapy or just in the mood for a nice cool buzz, choose the best pot in the world, American homegrown.
Hi, and welcome to the first MPP Insider of 2011. I'm Morgan Fox, and let's start things out with a recap of the biggest marijuana reform victories of 2010. Starting out at number 10, despite the fact that Proposition 19 in California failed to pass, the discussion leading up to the election generated a tremendous amount of media buzz, more than this issue has ever received, both on a local, national, and international level. This has shown anyone that's been paying attention that this is a legitimate policy issue and people don't have to be afraid to discuss it in public forums anymore. Now, while the Californians may have been disappointed at the lack of passage of this bill, they received a consolation prize from the California Assembly. At number 9, California further improved upon their existing decriminalization law, removing all criminal penalties for possession of marijuana less than an ounce, meaning that if you get caught with an ounce or less of marijuana in California, you're given the equivalent of a $100 parking ticket. Also out of California at number 8, 2 favorable court rulings came down last year. One of them ruling that it was not a violation of federal law to license dispensaries for towns and counties, and another that blocked LA's attempt to close most of the dispensaries in that city. This is a huge victory for patients in those areas. At number 7, the states of Colorado, Maine, and New Mexico all passed regulations that improved upon and expanded their medical marijuana programs. This is great for patients in those states that already have existing recommendations, as well as for patients seeking future recommendations. It also further protects people that are involved in the marijuana industry in those areas. At number 6, the states of Hawaii, Connecticut, and Vermont all elected marijuana-friendly governors on the exact same day. This gives us a lot of hope that we'll be able to see further legislation pass in coming years. At number 5, local ballot initiatives were passed in 4 states. In Massachusetts and Wisconsin, measures were passed urging their state legislators to either tax and regulate marijuana like alcohol or to legalize medical marijuana. And in California and Colorado, local initiatives passed that allowed dispensaries to be opened in those areas. Moving on to the bigger victories, at number 4, early last year, New Jersey passed a medical marijuana law. Unfortunately, due to interference by the governor, that law has yet to be implemented completely and patients are still without their medicine, but hope is on the horizon as further compromises are reached. At number 3, the District of Columbia, after a decade of struggling with Congress to enact its medical marijuana law, was finally able to implement their bill allowing patients safe access. We should be seeing dispensaries open in Washington, D.C. Within 6 months or so, and this is a huge victory because it will allow national congressmen to be able to see what a regulated, tightly controlled medical marijuana system looks like and see that the sky doesn't fall and that it doesn't increase crime in any significant way. At number 2, on November 2nd, Arizonans passed MPP's model medical marijuana bill by a narrow margin. This bill will allow for 125 dispensaries to be open in the state of Arizona and will allow patients with qualifying conditions to have safe and legal access to their medicine. Look forward to further implementation as the weeks go by. And for number 1, we move from the federal to the state level. Last year, the Department of Veterans Affairs issued an announcement saying that it would no longer deny services and treatment to veterans who were using medical marijuana legally within their state. Prior to this announcement, anyone testing positive for marijuana could be denied services and medications that person might need to keep them alive. But now the policy dictates that anyone with a legal medical marijuana license in their state will not be denied goods and services. This is a huge victory for our men and women returning home from foreign wars and who have sacrificed so much for our country. Well, that's the recap for 2010. These are all signs of great progress, and hopefully we'll be able to see a lot more coming up in the future. These advances shouldn't make us overconfident, however. Just last month, Michelle Leonhardt was confirmed as the director of the Drug Enforcement Administration. Ms. Leonhardt has frequently labeled herself as an opponent to legalization efforts and has publicly stated that she will rigorously enforce federal marijuana laws. So we can't expect them to go without a fight. That's the MPP Insider. I'm Morgan Fox, and we'll see you next time.
My name is Heather Torgerson, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Moved here 6 years ago and was diagnosed with brain cancer at the age of 24 and had to undergo a lot of treatments. My symptoms with the treatment were nausea, vomiting, dry heaving, loss of appetite, loss of weight, low white blood cell counts, major fatigue. When you're not eating, you lose a lot of energy. You don't have any. So you sleep a lot. You can't function as a normal human being because you're not eating, and it's devastating. Prior to using medical marijuana, my doctor prescribed to me literally everything we could think of to help increase my appetite, to help lessen the nausea, every FDA drug you can think of. My mom was very, very concerned because we went to the oncologist and she said, you know, Heather, if you can't stop losing weight and we can't get your white blood cell count up, you're gonna have to stop the chemo treatments and this tumor is gonna kill you. My cousin heard about how sick I was doing, and I got on the phone with her and she said, you have to do something, and I have an option for you that I really need you to consider. And she said, medical marijuana. And I said, no, I don't, that's not me. She said, just try it for me, please. As soon as I smoked it, within 5 minutes, I felt better than I had felt in months. I'm not gonna say I jumped out of bed and like ran a mile, but I had an appetite, which was huge. Once I introduced medical marijuana into my chemo regimen, it has allowed me to eat food. It has allowed me to have a normal life again. I work, I play, I can even go for walks. I don't work out like I used to, but I can still enjoy life. I have energy to do things with friends that before, I was just doing whatever I could do to get by.